Alright, well, welcome back everyone. It's Anthony TDG, or Anthony the Dubstep Gamer. So I am here with a Eula guide, and this is going to be an updated version of my older guide. There's things that I have missed, characters that I have now obtained, and, well, a new build came out, which is Hyper Fragila. So I will quickly go over that and basically just showcase how to build her. So let's get into it. So to briefly mention, Eula is a 5-star physical claymore DPS that specializes in normal attacks and a huge burst explosion that scales off the amount of attacks you get in. So the optimal way to attack with her is to use her burst and stack up as many attacks as you can get in while using your elemental skill to decrease physical resistance to make the damage way bigger. Now, you could try to be a little bit of a masochist and use her in reverse meld situations, and it does work with high enough investment, but just don't do that to yourself. She's tailor-made for physical damage anyways, so just make your life a little bit easier. Now, another team and build that she does have that's a little decent is her Hyper Fridge build, where you get a trigger for Hyper Blooms, and you use her for damage while she's not intruding on the Hyper Bloom like core creation. And it does work, kind of. I mean, there's synergy there with Yelan with the damage bonus and stuff like that. And as you can see from the footage in a second, it does work. But it's just still not the greatest. I'd still lean into more physical teams, but this is a more easier team to pull off because you don't need that much investment in your Eula compared to your physical teams. Alright, now we're at the part you're waiting for, which is the physical build. So this is a build where you stack physical damage bonus, attack, and crit to basically optimize her physical damage and make that explosion very nice. As for talent priority, you would want to level her normal attacks and her burst to the highest that you can, while elemental skill is a little bit more optional. I obviously did this because, well, I'm Eula main and I just had to give her everything. But yeah, that would be the optimal talent priority. So the optimal artifact set you would want to put on her is the 4-piece Pale Flame, which is the artifact set that is tailor-made for her. You get physical damage bonus, and you get attack percent when you use your elemental skill, which you're going to use anyways to decrease physical resistance and make your damage bigger. Now, the best alternative is a two-piece of Pale Flame and Bloodstained Chivalry. It's just really nice to stack that physical damage bonus, and if you don't have that, you could use two-piece physical damage and attack percent from like Glad or any of the other artifact sets that have attack percent. But other than that, yeah, I'd stick with 4-piece Pale Flame. Now, as for the main stats you would want on those artifacts, it's gonna be attack percent on the Sands, physical damage Goblet, and one of the crits on the Circlet, preferably crit damage because you would want a lot more crit damage than crit rate for that big explosion. Now, as for her optimal weapons, I'm currently running a Skyward Pride on her, mainly because she's very energy hungry and I don't have like better 5-star options, but it is a very good weapon if you have it, because she's really energy hungry and all the damage bonuses benefit her. Now, her best weapon options are going to be Wolf's Gravestone and Song of Broken Pines, which is her signature weapon. Wolf's Gravestone is situationally better because of the attack percent stat stick that it is. It gives a lot of attack percent, especially on the passive. But Song of Broken Pines has a physical damage substat and is a easier passive to pull off, and you'll benefit from the attack speed. So if you're willing to sacrifice just a little bit of damage from Wolf's Gravestone for more consistency, I'd go with Song of Broken Pines. Now on to her best 4-star options. That's generally going to be Serpent Spine and Akumaru, which Serpent Spine, you're going to need a shielder if you want to proc the effects a lot more easily, and Akumaru is something that's more reliant on high energy costs, characters like Beidou, Raiden, and stuff like that, but is generally a very good option. Now, if you don't have any of those and you want some good free-to-play options, two of them are going to be Prototype Archaic, which you can forge normally without having to do anything, and Snowtooth Star Silver, which is her best free-to-play option, which you can craft and obtain for free if you do certain secrets in Dragonspine. Alright, now that we went over how to build your Eula, I'm going to show you how to efficiently use her in combat. So her elemental skill does provide a stack effect called Grimheart, which you can tell how many you have based off the glowing of her cape. Her optimal burst combo is to skill, burst, skill, 4 normal attacks, hold the skill, then do 4 normal attacks again, dash, do it as many times until the burst explodes, and that is your optimal combo. So here is how it's going to look like in practice.
Shudder! Flood of frost! Eye for an eye!
Last but not least, we're going to go over her teams. So Eula's best team is physical, with her as the physical damage dealer, an electro trigger for superconduct, a cryo support, and a flex slot. For the electro slot, the best option is going to be Raiden Shogun because she provides good follow-up damage with her skill that can provide superconduct, provides good burst damage bonus with it. She fills in for Eula's rotations by giving good burst damage herself, and she provides energy to the team during her burst. If you don't have Raiden, the best options for Electro slot could be Beto or Fischl. Fischl's more single target damage oriented and is pretty good for Superconduct, and Beto's for more AoE situations, and does provide a shield if you have her C1. Lastly, an honorable mention for the Electro slot is Kuki Shinobu, as she's a pretty good healer and does provide Electro applications for Eula to provide Superconduct, so she's a pretty good option if you don't have anything else. For the crowd support slot, the best free-to-play option is Diona because she provides a lot of energy particles, especially if you have Sacrificial Bow, and she provides good shielding and healing, just overall good utility. Another option for the crowd slot is Rosaria. She does more damage and sacrifices utility, but she can give a crit rate bonus, and she could shred 20% physical resistance if you have her C6. So overall, she's a pretty good offensive option. A very underrated option for the crowd slot is Shenhe because she can provide good buffs like the crowd damage bonus, can buff normal attacks, elemental skill, burst, and shred physical resistance. So overall, she's just a pretty good offensive option and actually just the best one. An okay option for the crowd slot can be Layla, as she does provide just a little bit more damage than Diona and provides a stronger shield, but she has less of the utility and doesn't provide that much energy, so I wouldn't recommend her over Diona, but she is an option if you have her. Now, I do have to address the elephant in the room when it comes to physical damage supports, and that is Mika. So he's a bit of a controversial one. He kind of sucks at lower constellations, but he becomes a best in slot at C6 just because of that physical damage crit bonus. But overall, he's still pretty alright. He does attack speed, he heals, and provides physical damage bonus when you build him a little bit. Now, he becomes better in AoE situations where you could hit multiple enemies with his skill because it can provide more of a chance for Favonius Lance to proc, and can provide more stacks for physical damage bonus. Now, his healing's a little bit tricky because the initial cast is really amazing, like heals a lot and heals the entire party, but the follow-up healing that he does every couple of seconds is pretty mediocre, but overall, Mika is a pretty alright physical support. As for the flex slot, one of the best options are going to be Zhongli, which he can provide a very good shield, shred physical resistance, and do good damage with his burst and freeze enemies with it. He'll just overall make the team a lot more comfy as you don't have to dodge during the burst or anything like that, so overall you'll just be more comfy using him. Now of course, the best flex option is going to be none other than Bennett himself. He is a very good attack buffer, does some good healing, does pretty good damage, and just overall makes your Eula do way higher damage. Just don't C6 him just so you can get the physical damage bonuses, unless you do want to give his C6 so you just don't kill enemies before the explosion. But overall, yeah, he is the best support option for the flex slot. And that's going to conclude the Eula guide. If you guys like this video, please leave a like and subscribe, and stay tuned for more videos. For now, enjoy the showcase.
But